Hey, yeah, that didn't work. So, hello and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 144 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts designed for folk with a growth mindset or those who'd like to create one. This broadcast is designed for folk who are really dedicated to getting better at being who they be, rather than being distracted by getting better at being at doing what they do. The latter is a natural outcome of the former. So if you'll take just a moment and click share underneath this video, whether you're on one of the YouTube feeds or whether you're on one of the um, Facebook feeds, would love to have you invite your community, your friends, your folk to join the conversation. Wow. Okay. So in the States, we're screaming up on Thanksgiving. Canada's already had theirs. We're working on ours. And whew, what an interesting week, right? Um, it's odd coming, towards the 10th month of the pandemic and the lockdown and having a conversation about gratitude. And it was very interesting as this quote came up in my queue. I struggled a little bit. I mean, I love the concept, I love the promise, I love the idea and the inevitable impact of gratitude and gratitude practices. And for instance, the gratitude journal, that nightly exercise or the way I do it. And yet, man, I fought it for so long. I have one of my favorite clients, Tony, probably is still fighting it. When I look back at what I captured in the earliest stages of my gratitude journal in for the first I won't tell you how long, I'm kind of shocked, not surprised, by what those entries held. I It's interesting. Instead of capturing actual successes, true wins, things to be grateful for, big or small, consequential or not, so many of those early entries centered around not falling short or not screwing up, not failing. That wasn't really celebrating. And I noticed how easy it was to do that. But it wasn't gratitude. At best, it was complaining, right? It's, and I notice how common a practice that is. But that's not what we're here to play with today, right? The quote we're playing with today is this: the soul that gives thanks can find comfort in everything. The soul that complains can find comfort in nothing. Hannah Whitall Smith is a um, Christian author from the 18 and 1900s, and it's fascinating to see her take on this. I love that idea that the soul that gives thanks can find comfort in everything. And my God, 2020 is testing everything. The soul that complains can find comfort in nothing. 2020 had been wildly divergent from what I had hoped. It is different than what I had planned, and it is certainly far worse than our most paranoid fantasy. I mean, 2020 was a cluster up until now, right? And yet, there's so much for which I can be thankful. And it was fascinating writing the email that goes out with this and preparing for this broadcast just before the lockdown. In fact, very few days before we locked down, my wife and I got to celebrate our 28th anniversary, or since we were married on leap day, it was really our 7th anniversary. But that's how we ended February. Our middle child graduated from college. Granted, it was from our living room, and her processional was down the middle of our street in masks while everybody threw rice and drank champagne or threw birdseed. We enjoyed some amazing connection time with our two youngest children. We didn't expect that we would have them at home, and even our youngest brought their girlfriend home. So we had some great opportunity for family time. And Elaine and I each published books on the same day, on September 1st. And our eldest was married on October 10th, and I got to perform the ceremony. And those are just the highlights. Now, it's all too easy to fall into cataloging the negative, the lost opportunities, the postponed projects, the missed events, the skipped initiatives, the stilted economy, the closed businesses, the lost lives. A quarter of a million in this country, more than a million globally. Gratitude for the positive things in our lives does not dishonor or diminish the importance of the reality of any of the pain of anything that's happening in our country, in your country, anywhere around the globe. However, skipping over or dismissing or failing to own and celebrate those positive moments guts us from the very energy we need to move through and heal from the cluster, the negative elements that are happening for us. So as we approach Thanksgiving here in the United States, what is it that you want to celebrate? Wherever you are, what is it that you want to celebrate? This is a chance to be aware, to be conscious, to be intentional of the beautiful things in your world and what you want to be grateful for. And to say it out loud. Whether it's posting it here in the thread, whether it's declaring it and sharing it here, or whether this is something that you're going to post about, you're going to write about, you're going to share with your community. You know, one of the things that we do in our family on Thanksgiving, we have a gratitude. Oh, I'm looking to see if I have points of view. We have a gratitude exercise we do every year, and it's a little different every year. But one of the things that we do um, is we've done a number of times during the year. We take out points of view, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen for just a moment. Sorry, the quote's going to go. And we take out points of view, and everybody draws a card, and they're all wildly different. This is a points of view is the name of the points of view. It's a coaching game. Two coaches from Israel created this, spent 8 months sitting on a beach in Israel and creating this game. And it's a series of cards that are just incredibly vivid imagery and with a word on the bottom of each one. And what we've done is hand out these cards, let people draw one randomly, and through the lens of the card, share what they're grateful for. And it's a great way to start conversations. This is the one that came up for me just now. Of course it is. It says calling. And it's a reminder that I'm getting to spend my time doing something that's in alignment with my calling. And it's a chance for me to have gratitude for that. And I realized how much of us got diverted and redirected during 2020 and may not have the chance to spend, people may not, everyone has the chance to spend their time engaged in what's their calling. I do. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. I'm grateful that I've got our middle kid home and our youngest driving on his way right now, that Elaine and I are here and healthy, and we're going to have the smallest Thanksgiving we've had ever with just 5 of us. My eldest and my daughter-in-law are safe and healthy out in California. This is an opportunity for you as well to find what you're grateful for and lean into it. And I can't stress how powerful an opportunity that is. And I hope you'll take it. The soul that gives thanks can find comfort in everything. The soul that complains can find comfort in nothing. For most of you, regardless of where you are in the world, I know that several places in the Pacific Rim are experiencing another circuit breaker. I know that Canada, several places in Canada are starting to experience new versions of lockdown. Several countries in Europe are on different types of restrictions, from lockdown to curfews to God knows what. And yet, there is always something for which one can be grateful. I'm not necessarily a fan of country music, but there's a country song that keeps running through my head as I have this conversation. Um, Every day above ground is a good one. At the very least, if you're drawing air, there's something for which you can be grateful. So I would love you to share more of what you're experiencing. Come to the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Mindset Mondays. Share there what you're grateful for. Send me a direct message, comment, share with me. I would love to have a conversation with you about what you're grateful for and how you want to use the energy that you get from that, from the gratitude you get to express for that, to launch into 2021. I've been hearing so many folks say that I can't wait for 2020 to be hindsight. Yes, it's a great pun. It's made some hysterical memes, and 2020 has been a stealing event, a strengthening event for all of us, and we have the opportunity to see it that way, right? When you're forging a sword, it is heated and cooled and heated and cooled and heated and cooled repeatedly, and banged on the anvil to harden the sword, to strengthen it. That's the steeling process. Well, that's what we've been through for the last 10 months plus. This has definitely been a stealing process. And if nothing else, you have the opportunity to be grateful for that. So I don't want to see 2020 as hindsight just so it's behind us. We even want to find gratitude for what's happened this year, for the attention and intention that it's awakened in me, for the opportunity to still be engaged in my calling and doing the work that means something to me, creating a shift in the world that I'm here to create. And what I want for you is to find what your calling is. If that's something that you want help surfacing, reach out. I'll have a conversation with any of you to help you surface that. I'm grateful that I found my work, and I'm willing to open and help you find yours. No, this is not what I expected to talk about this morning. That's the beauty of seeing what shows up in your world and finding gratitude for everything. All right, so it's Monday. For some of you, Monday morning. This is an opportunity for you, not just on Thursday, but all week and for the rest of this year, to find places to find gratitude and let go of the complaining. It's a chance for you to dig deep and find where the celebrations are. And I encourage you to do that. And if you're willing, share with me what you're finding gratitude for. And between now and next week, I'm grateful that you're here and that you've been part of this broadcast along the way, and I look forward to hearing more from you. Be well.